Welcome to One Global Movement, everyone. Thank you guys so much for really sticking around and investing and being present for children. And today is Friday. It is such a beautiful thing to know that we all are here, uh, driven by one reason, called by one purpose, because the greatest good of all is to love, empower, and nurture children, women, and young people. There's no other noble job out there that we can do. This is the most important because
Mm-hmm.
we're not just building for tomorrow, we're building for right now. Because when you build so well for right now, then you must have built for tomorrow and the next tomorrow and the next tomorrow. And this is why we are here. We've decided, nobody forcing anyone, because we could have been somewhere doing something else, but we decided that we are going to come together to do what is best for humanity. And that is helping to eradicate hunger, illiteracy, and poverty, providing tools and empowerment and knowledge to women, children, and young people to build on their hopes and their dreams while also building their families and their societies. This is all the world needs. The world is crying, especially children and young people and women. They are crying for our help. They are looking into the empty space, the distant air, wondering what is going to happen next to me and my children and my family,
Mm-hmm.
wondering where am I going to live, what are my children going to eat. This
Yeah.
is the story of millions around the globe. Meanwhile, you and I are here, we have that opportunity that we can share with what we already have, because we have choices. We are living in
Mm-hmm.
a home. We eat at least one meal a day, but we eat more than one. We eat snacks. We change our clothes. We drive cars. We can take buses. We have all of these golden opportunities, but a lot of people don't. So we are here really asking everyone, a call to action to everyone, to look outside of your home, outside of yourself, to see what you can do. Begin with your home and then your surrounding, your community, your village, and then look across the Atlantic Ocean. Look across, regardless of what is happening, regardless of what the news says, regardless of whatever reason, things happen to people for a reason. It might be because the upbringing was not there, because maybe the parents were not there, because of illness or death or something, divorce or something. A lot of reasons have caused children to veer off course. And now we call them generation this, generation that. This generation is better than this one. We don't know. We don't know. So we are here to do our very best. And thank you guys so much for the great support, and we will continue until the end of time. And thank you to the managing director, who is doing his very best to be sure that we are helping this population worldwide. And thank you, sister, for always being there, and if, either on stage or behind the scene. We thank God, and more so we thank our CEO for bringing this kind of global family together that I have never in my lifetime seen, bringing them together in terms of love, in terms of togetherness, in terms of integrity, in terms of humility, in terms of the fear of God. This is what we all need, and
Mm-hmm.
we are going to continue to do this. So thank you. And today we are in One Global Movement Revolution Part 347, inspiring children and young people to build bridges of global love, compassion, and unity. Thank you again, sister. You brought up this topic, and it is so great. And
Mm-hmm.
so, inspiring uh, young people, children, and to build bridges of love, compassion, and unity is a very important thing. Why are we inspiring them? Why can't they just do it? Why do we have to inspire? Because we know that we are born with all of these things, but because of one reason or the other, These children, and some of us adults as well, have veered off course. And therefore, those of us who have it in our hearts to do good, to better these children, we want to be able to bring back that spark of inspiration so that they can go back to the point where they can begin to do these things effortlessly the way that God created them. And that is why, and this is as well as doing good, be compassionate, be grateful. It's the same thing as be kind, be loving, be caring. This is the same thing. So when we teach a child to love beyond borders,
Mm-hmm.
borders, the borders of not just physical borders, it starts with the borders of self, to say, I am going to love this child the same way I'm loving this child, the same way I'm loving a child that is not my biological child. And
Right.
when you do that, then you must have empowered yourself to see physical borders across the Atlantic Ocean to say, no, why is it that these children are suffering like this? Why are they portraying these children, putting them out there as children that are suffering, children that are poor? Because when you do that, they're not helping. You are beating down these children psychologically. You're beating down these parents, the parents of these children, psychologically, to say, look at you. This is who you are. This is who you are. This is who you are. This is not a good thing. It's the same thing that we pick on our children. You say, oh, why can't you do like your brother? Look at you. You failed. You did this. It's the same thing. It's the same concept because it begins at home. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, we need to do this. So children don't need to be taught division. They must be empowered to create connection, divine connection, good connection, loving, kind connection. A compassionate child today becomes a courageous global leader tomorrow. What is tomorrow? The next moment, the next moment, the next minute, the next day, the next week, the next month. So, a compassionate child, how does a child get compassion? From us, from us,
Absolutely.
from the
Mm-hmm.
adults, from the caregivers, from the doctors,
Mm-hmm.
from religious institutions, from businesses that decided to do honest business so that these children can get it. You know, a compassionate child, I repeat, today becomes a courageous global leader tomorrow. Inspiring children and young people to build bridges of global love and compassion and unity is a great thing. And this is a one global movement call to action for a brighter world. We don't just talk. We want to be able to implement these words with action. Because before these words came to our mouth, they had already been in our soul. Because you cannot say something that is not within you. But sometimes we fall short. And therefore, let us continue to put this in action. So, from the heart of one global movement rises a mighty call, really the biggest call in the world, because it should be, because it must be the biggest call in the world for children, in women, in particular, young women. One that echoes in every corner of the globe, through every village, city, and child's dream. That call is this. Listen very well. That call is this: let us raise children and young people who will become builders of bridges, bridges of love, compassion, and unity, not bridges of hate, not bridges of exclusion, not bridges of divide, not bridges of giving two, fooling them as though it's choices. Two is not a choice. It's not a choice. It's either or. And that's not what we want here. In a world often divided by borders, differences, and injustices, one global movement believes in nurturing a generation that will carry hammers, hammers of hope, and lay bricks of understanding. You seek to understand, you seek to listen to understand before you judge. And even if you listen and you realize that there is something to be judged, do not blame because you don't know. Find a way to make it an open discussion so that
Yes.
you can get to understand. That is why a lot of our children shy away, because we place judgment on them. They've lost trust in us parents and adults because we are fast, we are quick to judge.
Yeah.
No, without even understanding that we too, before those children were behaving like that, we must have skipped a step in their upbringing for one reason or the other, and not to blame ourselves either, because sometimes you're sick, you can't do anything. Sometimes the resources that you need are not there in time, and that child is growing. Uh, uh when you miss a step in the nurturing and upbringing of a child, it is difficult. That step is going to manifest in different ways in the future, but there's a better way to do that. We can do it in a nicer way so that child doesn't feel ashamed that at my age, I did not understand this. So let us seek to understand. So we are going to explore how our vision and mission can be fulfilled by igniting the hearts of the young to connect humanity and defeat global challenges together, not just by themselves, but they have to start with self. So, one global movement, vision, and mission is a foundation of purpose to see a world where every woman, child, and young person rises above hunger, illiteracy, poverty, abuse, homelessness, exclusion, and all of those things, and where they are empowered to lead with compassion, create with courage, and connect with humanity. These kind of qualities that say, I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know why I was created, because I was created and ordained and crowned to do this. I am going to do it regardless of what happens in my life, regardless of any storms placed on the way, regardless of the detours, because those things are there for a reason. So, our mission, as we all know, as Sister always reads it on Wednesdays, is to build global networks of transformation by empowering the youth to lead, change, educate communities, promote justice, and become ambassadors of hope, kindness, and unity across nations. We all know this. These kids have it because children are born on a clean slate. They just come with love, with compassion, with empathy. They come with those things until we start tinting these children otherwise and they start misbehaving. No child is born hating anyone. You see a child, as we so much like to identify with colors, because the colors are there for beauty. You see a black child seeing a white child or a brown child or a dark child, they just gravitate towards them and start playing with them without even questions, unless we start putting things in their mind that they're going to behave otherwise. The world is a place where we need to erase all of those things and to bring back those good things that we were born with. So, why love? Why? You ask yourself, why love? Why compassion? And why unity? Why does it matter? Why? It does for so many reasons. We are in a time where wars, climate change, discrimination, and displacement create fear in place of friendship. You and I, we know. Sometimes I question things before I get involved
Yeah.
because of the way that the world is. And it is good to do that because it's also a good way to teach our children not just to jump into things because of the way the world is. You have to question it. You have to take a closer look. You have to discuss it with your parents or your good friends, with your teachers, your mentors. We got to do those things. They can't just jump onto things. So children hear of divisions long before they understand the meaning of unity, right? That's what
Yes.
they're born seeing. But what if we change that narrative? What if one global movement decides to change that narrative, which is what we are doing here every day? What if we really do so from the heart? A builder of love, showing kindness to strangers, friends, and even former foes. You don't have to jump to speak. You can just put on a smiling face. Do you know that if you put on a smiling face, people gravitate towards that? People that are angry, people that are having some challenges, people that are sick, they gravitate towards that. That is paramount. It's the beginning. You're walking on the walking trail, like we go out for smiles, smiles for walk or walk for smiles. we go out, we do that. And people that were not talking, they start talking. They start talking and then they start complaining. People don't like to say hello to people. Thank you so much for the way you're smiling and saying hello to us. And some did not say yes or hello at the first glance, but later on, when they see us more and more, now they get acquainted, then they begin to say hello and then they begin to talk. That's where we can start. So, a giver of compassion, understanding the pain of others. We must, because I am guilty too. We are fast to think, oh, why is he behaving like that? Why is she behaving like that? And then we start, our mind will start judging. And when you judge, now you withheld yourself back from really helping those people or from smiling at them. And so, even when they come from different lands, a giver of compassion, understanding the pain of others, putting yourself in another person's shoes, even when they come from different lands. Is the land different? The land all over the world is the same. But your place where you are by Almighty God for a reason, utilize that land for the benefits of humanity, for compassion. So, a messenger of unity, standing tall, not the tallness that say, "Oh, look at me! I am this. I am rich. I come from a rich family. I come from a smart family." No, no. You stand tall within yourself. That kind of tallness that say, if somebody says you will never amount to anything, you don't even fight. You know who you are because you know that you have greatness within you. That you're going to amount to something because you were created with something, for something, to live for something. And we need to drill this into ourselves so that our children can see us practicing it. So, a messenger of unity, standing tall with others. Or even in school, when a fellow student is being bullied, you stand there with that kind of affirmation that says, I am here with you. I understand what you're going through. I know that you're not alone. I am here. While you're doing that, you're watching so that you can take what happens and go report to the school authorities or to the authorities. Or you pass by, you see some young people fighting or some even adults fighting. Don't stop there. Get out of the way, because if they even see you trying to intervene, they can kill you. Get out of the way, go quickly, stop somewhere, make that phone call very quick for safety. So it's so important that we teach our children that standing tall with others, no matter the color of their skin, their religion, their denomination, their spirituality, no matter their bank account or the language that they speak. We speak different languages. Those languages are there for a reason. You hear other people speaking more than English. Don't you just criticize, because English is not the only language that God created. We have that respect other people's languages and way of life. So these are not mere ideas. These are missions for everyone, global movement, ambassador, and teachers and volunteers and mentors here. And together we can bring them to life. So how we inspire youth to build these bridges is very important. We always talk about education, sister, rooted in empathy. Education that is rooted in empathy. You're not just saying, oh, here, this is what you need to learn. You're going to take an exam, and if they fail, you say you're dull, you're stupid, you could have done better. No, no. Education with empathy, education that is tailored to meet the specific needs of these children. And we're still praying when academy comes. That's the kind of education that we are talking about. Education with compassion, education that is clean, education that has high integrity, education that is tailored to the unique needs of children and every young person out there. So we teach more than literacy, like we say here. You're not going to say, oh, I am a doctor because I have this paper. This paper is nothing, it's perennial. What are the skills that you're learning? What are you showing compassion when you're learning those skills? When you are at work, do you work in, are you a good team player? Do you see somebody that was doing so well but did not do so well today? Do you help and I say, I can help, can I help? This is what we are talking about. So we teach more than literacy, we teach humanity. Humanity. Our learning spaces include storytelling circles. It's not just written in books. Listen to the stories. Because do you know that some people tell time not by looking at the watch? Because we were not born with the watch. The watch is technology that God has given us the brain to blend it with the natural way of telling time. That is very important. Storytelling circle, peace clubs, global dialogues, like we are doing here, and leadership boot camps where children
Mm.
from diverse backgrounds learn about each other, listen deeply, and learn how to disagree with respect to also agree in the end. Even when we don't agree, we still respect other people's opinions. We still
Yes.
respect other people's way of life because your way of life, my way of life, our way of life put together is what is going to make the world a better and empathetic world for our children and everyone. So, sister, I'm going to let you take over.
You know, you just finished on the note that I was just making a note on. It says we can disagree without being disagreeable. And unfortunately, that is a prevailing thing in culture now. Everybody thinks that they have to win by putting the other person down, or but you know me, I'm all about balance and collaboration. I don't understand why we should think that everybody has to think one way. And if we keep telling our children that we're the ones that's right and everybody else is wrong, it's only going to spoil what we are trying to do. This world is becoming increasingly interconnected, and yet it often feels like we're building more walls than bridges. The news headline, they love nothing more than to foster divisions and who beat down who and who is champion of this or whatever it is. That is not how the world was meant to be, because you
Mhm.
just said we're not going to agree totally with everything, and we should not. We're diverse,
Yep.
different cultures, languages, visions. The news headline frequently highlights conflicts, divisions, and misunderstandings between people, communities, and nations. We love nothing but that. Watch the YouTube videos, they get so much rating when it's all about who beat up who, even with just words. I'm not even talking about physical beating up. It's all about domination. Why should that be? I don't
Yep.
understand it. And we're bringing this down to the next generation because they see it in our homes. They come home and they talk about how they spoke to a boss. Stop it. It we don't need to show off. That's not what standing tall means. It
Mhm.
means you stick up for your own beliefs, but with respect of the other person's way of thinking. That's what
Mm.
it means. I
Yep.
don't like this attitude of in your face. I don't see what it is. And it's been happening for a long time, not just in wars, but in how
Mhm.
people treat one another, right? Even in a common conversation, it's easy to feel disheartened, and I do when I witness the rise of confrontations over respectful disagreement and the valuing of divisions over unity. But
Mhm.
what if, as you said, we could change this narrative, starting with our children and young people? And guess where it starts? In
Yep.
our homes.
Yep.
This need to be one-upmanship and better than. And I'm not just talking about in even what you talked about, certificates or degrees. Just be able to walk away and feeling that I won. You won nothing.
Mhm.
You've just lost somebody else who you never know how they might enhance your life, or you might. So why focus on the children and young people? I believe that the upcoming generation holds the key to a more harmonious future if we could just stop burdening them with our preconceived things that we are generational. Children are inherently curious, as you said, open-minded, and less burdened by the preconceived notions and biases that can divide adults, right?
Yes.
Their
Yes.
capacity for empathy seems boundless. They just love, love, love. And their natural inclination towards fairness make them fertile ground for cultivating global love, compassion, and unity. So this
Mhm.
is a good thing that we're trying to do here, grabbing them before they get embittered and spoiled by what we're doing as adults. I see it all the time and I hate it. Who won over who by having the last word and just in your face. I don't like it. By nurturing these qualities from a young age, we can empower them to become the architects of a better world.
Mhm.
This is what we're aiming for.
Mhm.
And there's ways to do that. And when I jump in again, sister, please go on because
Thank you so much. This is so beautiful. When you always use those two powerful words of yours, collaboration and
And
striking a balance
balance. And
is very,
balance.
very important. Life is all about balance, you
It
know,
is.
because
Yes.
if something is balanced for you, it might not be balanced for the other person,
Doesn't matter
depending
though.
depending
You
on
meet
their
them in the middle.
situation.
You meet them in the middle. Yeah.
You meet them in the middle and try
Yeah.
always come from the point of empathy, trying to compassion, trying to see what can I do to make it better. You try today, it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work tomorrow. It will
Exactly.
still work. So it is so important. And when you really talk about the way the world is going now as we see it, is because people have been so brainwashed. They brainwash themselves and brainwash others to think that this is how it has to be, either
Mm-hmm.
this way or no other way. And this is not leadership. This is
It's
not compassion. This is not empathy. This is
not.
not raising children the right way. It doesn't have to be in a particular way. We all are born, like we always say, with unique gifts. They are
Yeah.
unique for a reason. You didn't create yourself, you didn't create those children.
Mm-mm.
And therefore, people do things differently. They
Yes.
understand things differently at the time where they have that mind space and time to understand. And let us
Mm-hmm.
give them the time. That is why we need to revamp the educational system
Mm-hmm.
to focus on the unique child. The curriculum tailored to meet the unique needs of that child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
these needs have to be basic necessities. Has this
Yeah.
child eaten right? Has this child has that opportunity to go to school or to learn a skill or to even educate? Because these children are smart to educate others if they are given that opportunity. They are smart
Yes.
to educate because my son educates me all the time, and I'm just sitting
Mm-hmm.
there like he's 20. Okay, so this they do better than all of us because they are so smart. And
Yeah.
so we have to look at the world to say, why are things falling apart? Why are people dying? Why are they going hungry? Why are they being stereotyped? That's not
Mm-hmm.
the way we were created. And we need to do better than that because our children are bleeding. They're not bleeding just physical blood that you see. They are bleeding with their souls inwardly,
Yeah.
and they don't know where to turn to. You and I
Yes.
are here. We need to be the sanctorium. We need to be the incubator, the
Mm-hmm.
God-given incubator for these children to find their happiness, their right path, but doing so with empathy, compassion, and unity, and the love that comes from the one that created us. This is very important for us. YouTube, you talk about YouTube, that's true. Well, how about we just change the narrative that the YouTube is always putting negative things out there? How about we create YouTube channels to go and be putting all of these kind of things here from One
Yeah.
Global Movement? Because this is what is going to help you and I to give us
Yes.
good health, to give us
Yes.
prosperity, is to do
Mm-hmm.
things with love, unity, and compassion for one another. Let's
Exactly.
change that narrative. How about all our social media handle? Like I read your social media handle, sister.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need. And doing
Yes.
so, knowing that you are not here on your own. Somebody
Yeah.
was responsible, is responsible for you and I, and
Yes.
that person is with us every day. That's why we say here in One Global Movement, divine intervention with everything we
Amen.
very important. You cannot
Yes.
do it without that. Is
No,
it
you can't. You
worshiping
can't.
your tree? Because the tree was created by God. Don't listen
Yes.
to people saying idol. This that tree was created by God. I go into the lake and I pray there. Okay,
Yes.
who is gonna say that that's idol worshiping? No.
It's
Some
not.
of the Indians they worship the cow. Who created those animals? God.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
trees, you're walking, you're hiking, you're praying, you're calling of calling the name of Almighty God because He created everything and gave a dominion over the surface of the earth, not over children, not to suppress and oppress people, not to put lies out there, but to do so with compassion, unity,
Absolutely.
dignity,
Absolutely.
that kind that comes from Almighty God. So let's create, if you haven't had a social media handle or YouTube, create one. Let's
Yes.
flood it. Let's flood the world. Let's
Yes.
social media, compassionate, empathetic, loving, kind, a revolution for One Global
Yes.
Movement or for yourself. Let's do
Yes.
that. We are
Absolutely.
already doing. I know that a lot of us are already, but let's even do it more and more so that it will overshadow all those negative things that we hear of and we see around
You know
all.
something, sister, if you already have the, the YouTube going or whatever it is, the Facebook handle or whatever, every time you read or you think of something that's good, take a moment and go and post it there. Let it overbalance the negative stuff that we're seeing there, because that's how it will be done, right? You
Right.
can't just sit down one day and have it go okay. We need more collaboration, less comparison, and competitiveness.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what we need, because the Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath. Many
Right.
quarrels have been escalated because people don't know when to stop. Say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're disagreeing. Let's come back and do this another day or whatever it is. Because not everything has to be solved in the moment. If you see the argument is getting too heated, and it does, because if we're passionate about our beliefs and our causes, we want to have it become highlighted. But the thing is, maybe the other person isn't ready right now to hear where you're going with it. So you just come again, as you just said, you come again another time. It won't be solved necessarily in one day. Just come again and sit down and say, you know what we were saying yesterday? What do you think now?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing what happens when you do that.
Yep.
Because people want respect. Every one of us want respect and validation. You're
Sure.
being heard, you're being seen. Even doctors are saying that now. They're saying, because they know patients are complaining that the doctors just want to just write prescription. They don't even listen to what you're saying. And some doctors are now taking it upon themselves to say, you are being seen. This is what I'm hearing you saying. Isn't that amazing? Because I'm
It
not
is.
picking on doctors, but generally people think of them as gods and what they say go. But you know your body, you know how you're feeling. So
Yes.
when
Yes.
you try to articulate the symptoms or whatever, the first thing that should be done is listening, right? How can you prescribe when you don't know what the person is saying?
I know.
So
I know.
we should teach our children that as well. When your friend is talking to you, don't just be hurry up to say I know or whatever. Don't do it. And but we must first start doing that when they're talking to us too,
Yes. We listen. We
right?
attention. We
Yep,
drop, stop, and listen from Sharon.
absolutely. I love it.
Yes. That is very, very important. Please, let's
Yes,
do that on social media, because when you're doing that, you think you're doing good to somebody, you're doing it to yourself. Because
absolutely. Because the
it's a
good you do
lifelong
comes back
journey.
to you.
Yes,
Yes,
it's a
yes,
lifelong journey. I just came from the hospital to consult. Today is what, Friday,
yeah,
Wednesday,
yeah,
and this doctor came in with a very big smile. I was so happy
yeah,
because I decided that I am not going to have any doctor that is going to have a frowning face or this is.
yeah. I know. Too
All
busy
of
to
us
hear
have
you.
problems, but
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
bring it to the patient, because the first line of treatment for every patient is the smile on your face,
yes.
the
The
happiness,
attitude your
the
attitude you
attitude.
bring.
If you
Yes,
don't bring a good attitude, forget about the medication, you know.
exactly,
So I
exactly.
have been intervening for my mom, for my son, and I did intervene for my son. Otherwise, my son would have been dead by now, you know.
Praise
So
God that you did.
this doctor came in smiling. I'm so happy. I waited and he talked, and I said, "Can I say something, doctor? Something personal?" He said, "Go ahead. Why not?" And I said, "Thank you so much for your positive attitude. You came in here smiling, and all along you've been smiling. You're so active. Does that mean that you don't have problems? You do.
No.
I do too. But this is the first line of treatment. Now I know that I'm already healing. I'm healing already because you came in here like that. Let's watch our families, our children. Don't let your child, even if your child is 40, 50, it's still your child.
Doesn't matter.
Go. It's a family. We are working together as a family. Unity, love,
Absolutely,
compassion.
absolutely,
We are working
absolutely.
together. Don't let your family member go to the doctor, because they can ask a question that you will not have known. And
Exactly.
even going through treatment, you're going through treatment as a family, so that you research. Don't just take medication and swallow. Go research on that medication. If you don't know
Yeah,
how to research it, call us, or
yeah,
consult somebody. There are so many people, so many resources out there, that don't
yeah.
just take something, because they too are human beings. They're not going to
Yes,
remember everything to tell you, and they're dealing with a lot. Imagine
yes.
those doctors. I give them credit, especially the good ones, because they are dealing
It's
with a lot.
a lot. Yes.
So we need to also do our own homework. So
Yep.
another way of showing love, unity, and compassion is community projects that unite.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that here. So One Global Movement support youth-led projects that serve their communities and beyond. We have those programs here in One Global Movement, and we started with that. We start small. We're going to gradually expand, and we're going to include so many programs. And now we'll include the one that we can really sponsor children to go and learn something that they love, not what we love, not what we want, and then come now and work for One Global Movement while also saving money to establish their own business.
Their
That
own
way,
business.
encouraging them, because we don't want anyone working for One Global Movement for life. We just want these children to know that there's a place for them that they can turn to when they need a job or to start, or if it's what they love, it's up to them. The choice is
Yes.
there. So this is so important. We can start like a clean water campaign in rural villages. How about
Uh-huh.
that? Book
Yes.
drive for underserved children across nations. If
Mm-hmm.
in United States, we can go to the library to read. I had volunteered a lot of times to read to children, especially when my son was very young. And we would go to the nursing home too and read to the parents. And then pen pal programs that
Okay.
connect students from continents apart. Pen
Yeah.
pal. I grew up with the pen pal thing.
Yeah, I know. I know. So did I.
That too. So yes, each project becomes a stone laid on the bridge of global unity. It's a stone.
Wow.
When you do that,
Yes.
you already laid that stone
Yes.
on the
Yes.
bridge of global unity. So another
Yes.
one is ambassadorship and role modeling. We have our children ambassadors. What they are doing
Ah, yes, we
is
do.
amazing. And these kids, they know. They know that they are the ambassador. They speak like ambassadors,
Yes.
professional ambassadors in the
Ah, love
school,
it.
in their communities, or they introduce themselves. Do you know that I am One Global Movement ambassador to the world? Imagine that. That alone uplifts their spirits, and then the people around them, their spirits are uplifted. They know that they are speaking with somebody who is an ambassador. Ambassador
Yes.
advocating for unity, love, compassion, and empathy. And this is what these children are doing. They love it. They love it. They love it. So we raise and celebrate child ambassadors of love and unity, young people who model what it means to stand for justice and truth, to speak for the voiceless, and to bring friends together from all walks of life. Now that we are talking about, I know that Nancy is listening, and all of us here are listening.
Yes.
We these ambassadors can come out with short programs that they can record and send if they don't have time, because they also have their own programs, or they can come here and really speak. They're advocating for the voiceless. Maybe it's for a child that did not have money to pay for the food lunch, and they were giving them food that was not up to standards to eat. You advocate for that. Maybe it's for a child that is bullied. You advocate for that. Maybe, just maybe, it's for a child that does not have the required textbook. You advocate for that. Maybe you advocate for a drive for pens, like the
Yes.
banks, other places. I did that before, and I carried boxes of pens to Cameroon, and I shared it
Of
in the school.
course. Yes.
We can do
Yes.
a lot of great things. We can do, or maybe advocate for backpacks for children, or
Mm-hmm.
books, just you know. And that's
Yep.
one of the programs that we're going to be doing. And I will go to my alma mater, the schools where I graduated from, to advocate. They'll put boxes there. Some kids have 3 4 backpacks. You
Yeah.
can do one, or
Yeah.
slight use, or new ones. We don't want backpacks that are so raggedy, because we are
No,
not.
we don't. No, we want, yeah, no, because we don't want them to feel like, we're giving their castaways. No,
Yes, yes.
cast
We
off,
don't
as
want
they call it.
that,
No, but those, yeah,
hand me down things that are not
yes,
good for
yeah,
people.
exactly. That's not
Yes,
the
so
idea. Yeah,
they can speak for the voiceless and to bring friends together from all walks of life. These
absolutely.
ambassadors visit schools, speak at
Mm,
events, and share
yes,
stories of transformation, igniting courage in others. And when they
yeah,
are going to do that, we, of course, the parents and we here in One Global Movement have to be present, because the child should
their
not be by
children.
themselves.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So,
yes.
and then, and When they come out of school, they can work for One Global Movement and get paid as ambassadors. Just
Sure.
like we have this kind of ambassadors in United Nations,
Yes,
A lot
because
of them are
at the
political.
same time, we're teaching them financial literacy, which is a big part of being, you
There we
know,
go. Financial literacy. A child can come and talk about how to balance a checkbook or
exactly.
how to use $1. That's a big lesson. So when you
Yep,
apply the concept of using a dollar, you can apply it to $10. You can apply it to 100. You can apply it to
exactly, exactly.
so a lot of things that we can do. So creative arts and peace expression. Art. You see what I'm doing now with One Global Movement Gardening? It's not just gardening or farming. It's a piece of art. Okay.
It is. It
I
is.
dress up. I dress up to attract. You know. So which says let us make gardening attractive. I don't want
Attractive.
to say the other S word because it's not put here. Let's make gardening attractive, and then dispel all the myth about gardening because gardening. Some people think it's meant for the poor. Look at the rich farmers; they are millionaires. Okay, encourage children to give thanks to the gardener, to the farmer, to also educate them on how to eat healthily, right? So
Absolutely. Yes.
from the backyard to the kitchen and from the kitchen to the dining table, taste
That's right.
of
Yes.
motherland. So art,
Yes.
music, poetry, dance have no language barriers. You're just playing your music, you're shaking your head, you're already creating expressions of
You
arts.
are.
You know?
Absolutely.
And then
Yes.
One Global Movement champions global love festivals and children's compassion showcases that allow youth to express themselves across cultures, uniting us through creativity. In the future, let's organize this here. Kids, they come and show their painting, their project that they put together, their drawings, the music, dance. We do it
And
right here, virtually.
yep.
So let's think
Absolutely.
about that for next year. Let's think about that for next year, and so that we can start advertising it way ahead of time. So,
Good.
and then what about what love, compassion, and unity look like in action? How does it look like? Imagine a 9-year-old girl in South Sudan who writes to a boy in Brazil saying, "I see your story. I
Uh,
care."
there you go. There you
That's
go.
that's powerful. I see your story and I care.
There you
Picture
go.
a teenager in Bangladesh who teaches younger children how to plan food in community gardens so no one goes to bed hungry. Think about that.
Uh-huh.
That is
Yeah.
something to say. Thank
It's
you for what
something to really think about.
you
Yes.
realize. A child, a young girl in the village of Mengwi, where I was born, saying that I will rise so that other young girls can rise as well. Think about that. Visualize children of all races marching hand in hand with banners reading one heart, one world, one global movement. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't dreams because they are happening right now. These are the
Yeah.
stories we are already telling through our programs and with your partnership. These will be the stories of millions more. I'm thinking about the children in Bangui that are doing the Five Chicks per Child program. Do you know that that program brought these children together in love and unity?
Mm-hmm.
They
Of
are
course.
helping one another.
Of
The older
course.
ones helping the younger ones. They're making sure that if somebody did not was absent, they want to know why they were absent. They want
Uh-huh.
to find out to know. So, and they're holding their hands. They're sitting there on the benches. They're holding their hands. Education right there on the farm, on the chicken farm.
Yes.
So, this is what
Yes.
the kind of things that we are talking about. These aren't dreams. These are the stories we are already telling ourselves and our children through our program. And with the partnership, these will be the stories of millions more. Isn't that beautiful?
Amen. It is a beautiful story.
That's
Yes.
so beautiful. So the power of partnership, one family, one planet. How about that? One
Yep.
family, one planet. We have only one planet, don't we?
Yes. For now, people can look elsewhere if they want, but for right now, as far as we know, this
One.
is it.
It's
This is it.
good.
Yes.
To inspire children and young people to build these bridges, we must also surround them with adults who believe in them. The parents
Amen.
say, I believe in my daughter. I believe in my son. I believe in my children. My children are one of the best in the world. And you, as you are doing it, you are making sure that these children are hearing you, because they need exoneration. They need affirmations, right? Like you said before, they
Yes.
need it. They need it. We must also surround them with the adults that believe in them, not just today, but believing in them for all their lives. Teachers, parents, volunteers, governments, and global allies. This movement is only possible when we all stand together.
Yes. Every
And
child must hear that from their own surroundings. So they
yes,
don't think that anybody is above anybody. Every child is supposed to hear just what you just said in their own homes. So when they step out, they know that. And then we tell them, you're not going out there against anybody else. You're going out there to provide for your own destiny, your own purpose. It's not
exactly.
about anybody else. You're not
Yes,
better. When we say you are the best, we mean you are the best up against another best.
yes,
We're not competing. You're not going out there to say, look at me, I score this or I score that. That is not what we're saying. We're saying every child needs to, as you always say, we come with greatness. What
mhm.
greatness will you provide to the world? That is it.
Yes, yes,
Right.
exactly. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
pointing that out. That is so beautiful, because it goes from now to the end of time, all the time. You will
All the time.
realize that these children will be so happy. You yourself, you'll be happy. You'll
Of
be happy.
course. Of
You
course.
know. So,
Yes.
and what is the approach of One Global Movement in doing building safe spaces for dialogue and healing?
Amen.
Partnering with faith-based communities, schools, and local leaders, which is what
Yes.
I am working on all the time, offering
Hmm. Hmm.
mentorship programs and intergenerational dialogue circles.
Yes. Yes.
Love is we were born with love, but in
Hmm.
order for love to stay, and we keep practicing and keep living by it, we need to teach it. Love can be taught.
It can.
Compassion is
Hmm.
modeled. You model it. Unity is practiced. We have to
Yes.
practice it. When we
Yes.
teach love, we model compassion, and we practice unity first in our homes, like we always say here, then in schools, and finally across the globe. This
Yes.
is what One Global Movement is doing and will continue to do, looking for ways, the best ways to do it. And then from bridges to movements, creating lasting impact. Each child we inspire becomes a multiplier of change. The
Yes.
bridges they build extend into communities,
Hmm.
organizations, and generations. And let me just say this. Sister and I are here, and all of you in the chat, we are here because we are modeling what we say. If
Yeah.
people don't believe in you, they're not going to come to listen to you. They're not going
We
to
do.
call you. They're not going to.
Mhm.
They're not going to want you to talk about their children or whatever. So we have to really model this. So one global movement believes a breach of love can stop a war of hate.
Yes.
A
It can.
breach of love can stop a war of hate. A breach of compassion can feed 1,000 hearts.
Mm-hmm.
A breach of unity can restore a fractured world. And that we are here together, we are already promoting unity, and we need to bring other people, connect these people with what we are already doing here, so that they know that there is a place where we can all come together and do this. This is not charity,
It's not.
this is
It's
a
not.
legacy.
Amen.
And final call to action. We can never do anything here without a call to action. Rise and build together. Let us rise and build together.
Mm-hmm.
Dear, dear family, as we close this message today, we invite you not just to witness the change, but to be the change that we are
Amen.
talking about here in One Global Movement.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage every child, beginning from your home, your
Yes.
surrounding, your village, your community. Encourage the children in your life to join our peace clubs.
Mm-hmm.
One Global Movement is a peace club, and there are peace clubs all over your environment.
All over.
But this one things it's better, and the world is better now because we can do things virtually. We don't have to spend money and time to go to places. Encourage all of us, families, to join peace clubs, support global campaigns, volunteer your time, share your stories, and above all, believe in the next generation. Sister, if you can, put it down. We're going to talk about a peace club here so that we can uh, have that as one of our programs. You know, volunteer your time, share your stories in a very compassionate, loving, kind way with the aim to unite with others. And above all, believe in the next generation. Their hands may be small, but they are growing. But their bridges can be wide enough to hold the world. The bridges of these children ambassadors can be wide enough to hold the world. Let one global movement rise like a banner across nations, with children at the center, holding the hammer of hope, the hope that comes from here, the brick of kindness, and the blueprint of global love. Together, together, we are not just building bridges, we are becoming them. And thank you guys so much, sister. If you have any other thing, you can say it. Otherwise, we can appreciate our audience.
Well, I just want to add, just look around you. Just look around at the incredible diversity of the world. Each, I'm speaking to the young people, each of you holds a unique piece of the puzzle that makes humanity so vibrant. Don't let anyone tell you that our differences should divide us. Instead, embrace them as strengths, as opportunities to grow, and to connect. You are the generation of bridge builders. Go forth, extend your hands, open your hearts, and together, let's create a future where love truly knows no boundaries. And that's what we're asking here, because it all has to come from a place of love. All the building and the creating that we're doing, it's from the heart. It
Thank
starts
you.
there. It
Thank
starts
you.
there. Yeah.
Starts from the heart. That's
Yes.
true. Hello, everyone. Thank you to everyone. We so love you for your support and your presence. Hamida, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to our managing director. And thanks for stopping by, even though you are at work. We really appreciate Melanie Mukamugema because she really takes her time, the time for her break and other things to stop by. And this is the
Yes.
kind of support that we are talking about here, the kind of love,
Absolutely.
empathy, and compassion. Thank you so much, Sir Gutam. We appreciate your support, your love, and compassion for children. And we have our beautiful sister, Nancy. Thank you so much, Nancy. And thanks for nurturing those children ambassadors in your home. We highly appreciate you. And we have Maria Jazz. How are you, beautiful sister? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you and your love for women, children, and young people across the globe. Thank you. Sonia, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for being with us again today. We highly appreciate you, sir. And let's go here. We have Ama Chandra Namadas. How are you? It's been a while. Thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you for the beautiful flowers, the heart, and prayers. We highly appreciate you, sir. Spread the gospel of one global movement in your home, your community, and in your nation. Thank you so much for being with us here today. And the sister says, never forget that we are our children's role models for all these beneficial qualities we want to instill in them. Of course, thank you so much for that great reminder because we are. We don't speak negatively about our children because we are responsible for what they are doing. And that is not to say that, in every role there is an exception, but there is no child that you can talk to them with out of love, with unity and compassion, that they're not going to listen. No human being. They will soften up and they will listen. Just like you mentioned before that a soft answer turns away wrath. And this is the scripture, and this is very beautiful, and this is true. If you're going to, I'm going to be powerful. Yes, either you take it this way or this way, or we
Yes.
form you, or we do this. No, or I beat you up. No, it does
Yes.
not. You destroying children. So it's so important. Okay, John says, okay, I am on the bus headed for my appointment with my doctor for my yearly wellness physical. Thank you for keeping up with those yearly wellness physical, John.
Yes,
That's
John.
encouragement to everyone here to do so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have let's go here. Sister Nancy says, yes, my sister, this is what our children need. They need to understand that they have choices, they have greatness in them. Don't let anyone put you down. It's true.
It's true.
I always take my story because they used to tell me you will never amount to anything unless you listen to this. And my grandmother taught me and said, no, you come from royalty. Your grandfather is from royalty. I am from royalty, but more so, you come from the royalty of Almighty God. And you
Amen.
were born smart. You were born great. You have everything it takes. It might not happen now, but what you're going through, you are being prepared for the best in life. And I had a song, no matter what I knew from very little, even though I didn't see that I was poor or I was this, I knew that I had. We say that I say, oh no, I'm tall, right inside of myself because I come from royalty.
There
You
you
know,
go. Yes.
but this is what we need to instill from birth, even right there in the womb. You start telling that
Excuse me.
child right there in the womb. Okay.
Yes.
Very, very
Mhm.
important. Thank you so much, Nancy. And standing tall is not showing up or showing yourself how good you are, but standing tall is getting the hands of other people around you climbing upstairs, step by step, reaching different levels together. Thank you so much, Nancy. That is
That's
so,
right, Nancy. Together. Together.
thank you. And we
Hmm.
have Pankaj Saho, how are you, sir? We miss
Hmm.
you, but you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your love and support for children. We highly appreciate you. And please, I always ask, this is something that anybody can do easily. Please, we need more people for our Facebook page. And this is something
Hmm.
that we can do easily. Post it individually, uniquely to your audience or your followers on all your social media platforms, and ask people, support me to support children, women, and young people. And a lot of people will do. That's what I do, and they do it. Please, let's keep doing this to build this so that we keep getting the resources that we need. Remember, we are here for life, and therefore we need to keep building. We don't build today and don't build tomorrow. So you can have a commitment, make a commitment to bring in 5, 10, 15 people, however you can do that, and so that you have a goal in mind. So thank you so
Yes.
much for that.
Yes.
And the managing director is thanking everyone who came today to support One Global Movement Speak with Heart. Yes, thank you. Goldie Carr, how are you, Goldie? Thank you so
Mhm.
much for being with us here today. We highly appreciate you for supporting children and women worldwide. Thank you all so much for being here today. And we are praying that everyone will have a wonderful, fabulous, fun weekend with their family. Sister, I will give the closing remarks to you.
Okay, so we're talking about how to inspire this kind of global the love and compassion and unity. So we can introduce these young people to books because, as you said, opening up people's eyes, information, and music and food and art from different countries. Celebrate international holidays and traditions. Share stories of global connection and connectedness. Highlight examples of people from different backgrounds who are collaborating and supporting each other because this is what it's about. We are working together to build the change in the world. You know that statement that says, be the change you want to see. This
Mhm.
is what one of the things that I like about that statement. This is how we do it. Where
Yes.
we are. Don't wait for any big thing out there. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to be, as we always say, grassroots, communities, and then we build out. So when our next generation goes out there with that feeling that we are our brothers' keepers, we are our sisters' keepers, and we are empowered to be that, we have that capability, that capacity of building those bridges, tearing down those walls, literally and figuratively, and just living as human beings to human beings.
Yes. That's so beautifully said. Thank you so much. And we thank you guys so much. And we will see you again next week. Come with somebody, encourage somebody to know what we are
Yes.
doing here, please.
Yes.
Come with
Thank you,
one.
everyone.
Send it to everyone. Thank you. And you have a wonderful weekend. We love you all. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.